What's up, desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding. We have the full results and review from the 2023 California Pro, where Ross Flanigan beats the likes of Tonio Burton, Sergio Oliva Jr., and Stuart Sutherland. Got all the results, got HD footage, plus much more. Hope you guys enjoy this video. What's up, desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back with another video and the full results and review from the 2023 California Pro. And hopefully I'm coming through clear enough to you guys, because I know there's a few little connection issues with my internet right here, but hopefully not, and hopefully it's all clear and you guys can hear me a-okay. But Ross Flanigan, the man on the left here, wins the 2023 California Pro. Let me know your opinions in the comments. Did you have Ross Flanigan winning? Did you have Tonio Burton second on the left? Did you have Sergio Oliva Jr. second on the right? Or Stuart Sutherland on the far right? Because this contest was by no means a blowout. I'm very interested to see the judges' scorecards to see if it was like a split decision or if Ross Flanigan won with straight first, because that is going to be, to me, very, very interesting. So let me know your thoughts, because yeah, I am super intrigued to find this out. I'm just going to make that full screen so you guys can see everything there, and hopefully you guys can still hear me on the microphone. I'm trying to make this run as smooth as possible. And let me know if you can hear me and you can see this footage all right as well. But they switched these guys around, and towards the end of prejudging, they moved Sergio out. There was only one pose that they actually moved Ross Flanigan in for. And Tremboloni Tony saying Sergio could have won that. I mean, had Sergio won, I don't think, I mean, it was so close that I think that many guys could have actually won this contest. You know, had there been minor tweaks, had Sergio been a tiny bit fuller, had Stu been maybe a tiny bit more crisp with that fullness, who knows? But let's go pose by pose and really break it down between the top two and also the top four as well. What do you guys want to see first? Do you want to see the top two or the top four? Because I think Ross just got better and better as well. But would I have had Tonio Burton winning? I mean, it seems like people are up in the air. When I did do a poll after prejudging, I put my prejudging review there. This was on Desktop Bodybuilding. Right before I went live for finals, 7% had Stu Sutherland winning. 17% had Ross Flanigan. Only 17%, so less than 1 in 5 of you guys. Sergio Oliva Jr. had 20%, more than Ross Flanigan. And then 57% said Tonio Burton. So this is obviously an upset, even after prejudging. And even in my live as well, more of you guys, as 50-something%, had Tonio Burton, and it was much less that had Ross Flanigan. I think it was around 20%, about 17 or so, or 16 for Sergio, and it was sort of like that. And this is where they moved Ross Flanigan into the middle, and that's where he sort of pulled ahead, I guess. So let me know your thoughts on all of this. Look how good. Like, Sergio looks phenomenal on that most muscular. Like, had his legs just been a little bit bigger. I'm sorry, hopefully you guys can see that still. It might have been removed from the screen. Had, you know, Sergio's legs been a little bit fuller, I think we could definitely be talking about Sergio winning the 2023 California Pro. But let me know your thoughts on that one live and on replay if you are watching that on replay. But let's get to the final two call out. This footage courtesy of Muscle Contest on Instagram as well. Shout out to those guys. They had a pretty good stream as well. 1995. These guys have upped their game. So I encourage you guys, any future lives in terms of pay-per-views and whatnot, get on them. So front relax straight up. Look at the size difference of quads there for Ross Flanigan. And Tonio doesn't have small quads. Some people started saying that. It's more just by comparison. Now, this angle is slightly advantage Ross Flanigan because it is from his side. Now, that front double bicep, while from this angle, I'd probably say Ross, I'd say overall when it's straight on, because I've seen ones from the left, one straight on with the live stream, I would say Tonio. So straight on for angle from the left, I'd say Tonio. So we had the opposite thing with the photos with my prejudging review, which you can check out where I go pose by pose with these guys. I basically had it 4 poses to 3 with a tie in there as well. So that one there, the front lat spread, I would have that Tonio as well. The reason being is just because he has more pop to his physique in that upper body. While he's not as big as Ross, and from the other angle, he doesn't look as outsized, I still have Tonio on that one. And as the poses go on, Ross Flanigan, to me, gets stronger and looks better. Then in the side chest, I just think Tonio marginally wins that one, but this is where you can sort of debate it because Ross's legs are ridiculous. Like that hamstring hang is crazy. But you can start to debate on the side chest because really you look at Ross's upper body. It's not like it's small. He is lean. He has lines through his chest. Looks pretty wild overall. But Tonio, I think, just has a bit more roundness and a bit more pop in there. And you can see the traps pop a little bit more and whatnot. But from the waist down, I'd have Ross winning that. Even though Tonio's legs are cut out from the side, I just think that Ross probably wins from the waist down. And I can see this could have been the pose where the judges gave it to Ross. And I was like, oh, I'm just leaning Tonio. But I almost gave that one a tie. But for me, I would have Tonio winning that one. So I have it like 3 poses to nil right now. And then when they turn to the back, they're completely different back shots. But you can see Tonio, as he pulled back, he's ultra conditioned. And on that one, Ross's lines, his hamstrings and his glutes, crazy. And people have said that at the California Pro, they favor conditioning. But the roundness of Tonio, while that's still in great condition and in person, I think it shows up a little bit more of that conditioning. I had people there as well. There's an IFBB Pro there who was messaging me. I don't know if he wants his name revealed with the information. But he said he had, I think he said it was close and he had Tonio marginally winning. So yeah, Christian D, I don't know if that's Christian Duke or who that is, but said, I thought Tonio won that. Yeah. And Michael Deverone says Ross's chest looks twice as big as Tonio in the side chest. I think Tonio's is a little bit more round and from front it looks a little bit bigger, but yeah, you can see how clean Ross's physique is there. And really where Ross, I suppose, wins it over Tonio in that pose is the hamstrings and glutes. Although I do have Tonio winning this pose overall, the conditioning to me is good enough from Tonio. How many more points do you give for that extra conditioning? Obviously, the judges did favor that, but I'd be very interested to see in another show if that would get the nod. And I'll try to find the scorecards and pull up the scorecards for you guys live while we do this after we do a few comparisons. Now, see when Tonio pulls back there, he's in great condition. You really can't knock that whatsoever. And I just think that that shot, I think that Tonio wins that one hands down. There is just so much bigness, there is so much back, and that's why I thought Tonio would win this show. I thought it would come down to the back because I thought everything else was pretty close. Although Ross's back double bicep is much, much closer. I think that rear lat spread was probably the biggest win for Tonio, in my opinion. Now, on this side tricep, Ross sort of stumbles a little bit there. I just think Tonio, sorry, I've got a little bit off there. Tonio wins it there, probably just. But when Ross hits that from the front, he didn't hold it long in this comparison, but his quads are fully striated and they are enormous. Like they are so huge. So I would have Ross winning the ab and thigh. Oh, sorry, the side tricep. Now the ab and thigh, I would have Ross winning this one as well. Although Tonio has the more bubbly abs, I think that he could maybe hit a little bit different. And when they turn to the side, same sort of thing, he locks his quads out. I just think the way Ross is hitting that, his head's back a little bit more, opening up the lat, creating more of that sort of V taper there. And with that crazy quad, I think Ross Flanigan wins that one from there. And I'll get to your guys' questions at the end of this as well. And as they go into the most muscular, who do you guys have? I had Ross winning this one as well marginally. But you got to remember as well, this is advantage. On that one, I have Tonio winning it. I think Tonio should hit that most muscular and probably that one only. Maybe a crab like that, but he falls in a little bit too much on it. So I'd have Ross winning the most muscular. So I would have it like maybe 5 poses to 3 to Tonio, but very, very close. And you can see why. You know, I think, you know, they give, it's not pose by pose, and that's not how bodybuilding is necessarily judged. But I'd maybe give, you know, if you can switch the side chest and maybe the back double bicep to wins for Ross, then Ross wins 5 poses and Tonio wins 3. That's how close it is at this level. And you got to look at Sergio there and say, this dude was really, really good. I think the judging, I mean, I would have had probably Tonio winning marginally, not to discredit Ross whatsoever, because he was phenomenal. But I would probably have him marginally winning it. But let me see if I can get Chris Cormier in on this live right now. Oh, okay. So, sorry. Chris Cormier is off at the moment, but yeah, he said we'll catch something later. But yeah, so insane. Insane. This lineup is so good. I'm so impressed. So what's next for Sergio Oliva Jr.? Some of you guys are having... Here we go. Christian saying Sergio was peeled but could have been four. Yeah, I understand that as well because Stu was really, really good. I probably would have had Sergio third, but it was such a close one between those two. Very, very different. You could judge it in different ways. I thought Stu was honestly really, really good. Maybe he's a little bit more crisp last week. Midsection was maybe a tiny bit tighter, but he was fully here as well. So it's like a trade-off. It's very tough. Get Jose Raymond. Yeah, I'll ask him. I'll ask him now. Good point because I don't have Jose, I don't think, on WhatsApp. And I just went to my WhatsApp and asked a few people. But let me see if I can get Jose Raymond. I'm actually ask him after this because I'm going to wrap this live up soon. And I might go live again, or I might just do another post show where we analyze it a little bit deeper and get a guest on. And then I put that up with the HD footage after the fact, like an hour or two away. What do you guys think? Lucas Dalton G says Ross's, I think you mean to say legs are crazy. That's what set him apart and conditioning. Yeah, I mean they were the two real defining factors. And I mean, he had clean lines, he had enough muscle. I mean, in certain shots, you can say that he's like, fourth or third. But then in other ones, he's winning because he's just so conditioned. Tonio wins the most muscular. Yeah, I can see that as well. That's the thing. Some of these poses were pretty close. Jonas Graff, do you think Sergio can bounce back for the Toronto? I do think he can. So in Toronto, you're going to have, this is going to be really interesting. Depends if Ross Flanigan decides to go and do Toronto. That was his plan the whole way along. I hope he does go and do it. He knows it's probably great marketing as well, so I'm assuming he will. So you're going to have Ross again. So Ross is going to be hard to beat considering he just beat Tonio, who just won the New York Pro and looked phenomenal. So that's going to be tough. You'd have to say Ross would be a favorite over Sergio, but Sergio might come in better because he just jumped off a flight, although he did look phenomenal. So yeah, I think he can bounce back. But these two guys up against Ian Valier, this show has got incredibly interesting. Up against Hassan Mustafa, there's a bunch of guys in that show. And I think we're going to get a wild top 5 at Toronto next weekend. And make sure you subscribe here and hit the notification bell button because I'm going to have lives for that, post shows just like this as well. And you guys can tune in on all the action. Here we go. Sergio isn't beating Ian if he does the Toronto lol. I mean, I think it's going underrated how good Sergio actually looked here. But Ian is very confident that he's looking his best ever. He's eating more protein than he's done in the past under the guidance of Matt Jansen. And he seems very confident in his prep. So, yeah, I mean, Ian's a top 7 guy in the Olympia. Just finished outside the top 10 last year, but he wasn't his best, that's for sure. So, are there HD images yet? Video makes it hard to judge since it's so smooth. There are images. I've got images myself, which I might do. I might actually post them up on the Desktop Bodybuilding Instagram page as well. Christian D says, Sergio is so under-muscled for his frame. Lots of empty space and quads are straight and don't bubble out, unfortunately. I mean, I don't think he's so under-muscled for his frame. I think that's maybe a little bit harsh. He's got gaps where he can fill it out because he has such a big structure, but he's 286 pounds. I mean, what do we want him, 320? It's tough. But yeah, anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this live. Let me know your thoughts. Who did you have winning this contest? Did you have Tonio Burton on the left, or did you have Ross Flanigan on the right? And why? Give me your reasons why in the comments as well if you're watching live or on replay as well. The support is much appreciated, guys. Give the video a thumbs up, smash that like button, also subscribe and hit the notification bell button. That way you'll be notified of every video that goes up from myself, Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding. And yeah, tune in next week for the Toronto Pro. It's going to be an awesome one. I've got more videos coming up from this 2023 California Pro. So make sure you stay tuned to Desktop Bodybuilding and yeah, give your opinions and your views. I absolutely love it. And follow Desktop Bodybuilding on Instagram and all that good stuff. So that's it for me, guys. I'm Xavier Wills. This is Desktop Bodybuilding and we are